Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As I say, back from last week as we roll into our 25th year on the air in 2025. And on this fourth Saturday, which means BW, and he's there, Bonus Wong. In fact, we're going to have bonus Wong, BBW next week. Good morning, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody. It's a nice,
lovely,
cool Saturday morning, and,
yes,
I got to tell you, it's
a little nippy.
It's a little breezy, too.
Football weather, but
yes, it is.
Some of us will be out today. I will be out later on this opening day of the deer season in Tennessee. A lot of my friends are opening day of duck season over in Arkansas. Frank Barton, you're over there, buddy, someplace, I know. Opening day of duck season, so there's so many things going on right now season-wise. But we have a special guest, besides Sheldon McCall, who keeps us going here, of course. We have the special guest himself, the WM, the webmaster himself. Everybody's got titles. Is Guy Trebo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Guy Trebo.
Good to see you. Good to be here again.
How about being between me and Wong? I mean, that's. Are you
You're
ready?
in trouble.
You're in trouble.
I feel like royalty.
Yes, you are. Oh, royalty. Okay. Well, we're going to roast you then if you want us to. If that's the kind of royalty you want. But Guy is in with us this morning. Utilize Guy as much as we can. He is, of course, the man that puts together LarryRay.com. Please check that out. And if you'd like to be a sponsor, check it out even more than that. But it is constantly updated. I will say this, and Ron will know this, that we have lots of information on LarryRay.com.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Guy does a great job getting this stuff out.
Quickly?
Very quickly.
Yes.
And,
don't look for things 4 months past.
And by the way, it's easy. It is user-friendly, as I would like to say.
It is.
To click on different links to do different things and see different things
we got him
on LarryRay.com.
And that's REA if you don't know how to spell the correct way to spell it. It's
REA.
Yeah, it's REA. Larry Rhea. You know, that's what most people say. But Guy has done this and for a long time. We've known each other for a real long time. In fact, we are kind of kindred brothers in that we were both the sons of automobile dealers, and we grew up around automobiles, and my dad was a car salesman. Of course, the great Joe Trebo was Guy's dad, and we have talked about, I did not realize his uncle was Guy Bates, and we could spend a whole show talking about Guy's relatives. I mean,
between my grandfather, Bert Bates, and Guy, my uncle.
Uncle Guy.
They were involved in politics back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s.
And
interesting time.
And of course, his dad was such a heart of the St. Jude tournament, the golf tournament, for so many years. Went through the transitions from courses to name changes, and you've actually driven some of those famous golfers around from the airport. And
I could write a book about that. But they were, my parents' dad was one. They were both involved in the tournament when it first started. Mom worked the concession stand.
Miss Gertie,
Miss Gertie, and she was one of the first people to get a 50-year pin. For volunteering.
Really?
Yes.
And, of course, Mr. Wong is involved in the tournament. He's probably cooked more sliders than anybody.
He cooks for everyone out there.
Everyone out there.
I have to tell you,
and you're on the board. I mean, you're very heavily involved in AutoZone Liberty Bowl and the golf tournament.
And I helped the St. Jude FedEx Classic, or now Championship.
Yes, yeah.
And so I'm out there to help serve lunches at the Pro-Ams both days, usually Tuesday and Wednesday.
And he does.
And I have to tell you,
that
is a great tournament for what it stands for, and that's St. Jude.
That's right.
And they do a great job for them,
and we know.
Thanks to FedEx for being the title sponsor.
That's right. And, of course, like I say, with Guy's background, and someday we'll talk about there's some great stories about his grandfather and E.H. Crump, and everybody thinks that's just an insurance company. No, Boss Crump was back there, and
Mayor Overton as well.
Mayor Overton as well.
Yeah.
And that's where we get Overton Park. You know, we know that as the golf course and things. But anyway, guys in studio today, and appreciate that. We're going to talk to Johnny McFarland, Mid-South Chapter of Quail Forever. They got some events coming up. In fact, they got something going on today, I think. So we'll talk to Johnny. And then we're going to talk to a legendary figure, David Haggard. David is retiring after more than 40 years as an interpretive specialist at Reelfoot Lake State Park. You know him as the Eagle Man that has given all these demonstrations about the Eagles. He takes all those tours. So we're going to talk to David Haggard. And then we're going to talk to the Flying Dutchman himself. We're going to talk to Rus Synders, who has been on this show after he won Angler of the Year before.
Right.
And he's back as Angler of the Year.
And he's back,
as a kayak Angler of the Year.
For the BASS.
Yes, and I'm excited to talk to Rus because I need to find out if he's still got that truck with 400,000 miles that he travels in and he lives in and everything like that. But he is the BASS Kayak Series Angler of the Year for the second time. First time anybody's won it like that, twice. And then we're going to talk to a young lady. I watched a YouTube video of her at Brush Piles Academy. And she came across really good, and that's Madalyn Roberts out of Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. And Ron had a chance to visit with Madalyn at the recent Brush Pile Academy. First female to ever
attend that academy, and
she really is eat up with crappie fishing. I can tell.
You know, she stands up just like some of the other female guests that we've had on the fishing industry.
Yes, yeah.
She is ready to help promote getting females involved in the fishing industry. It's really awesome.
It's well, we're going to talk to Madalyn, and then of course we're going to close out the show with a 21-year-old man. He's still a student at Auburn, going for his degree in marketing, but recently it helped him out because he won $225,000 in a bass tournament, and he's qualified for the 2025 Red Crest.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is Hayden Marbut of Birmingham. Marbut. I talked to Hayden, and he is fired up about going to Red Crest, but not only, golly, a student at Auburn.
Yeah.
And he's won over $300,000 in his career.
Well, he's an excellent fisherman for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, that Toyota Series championship on Wheeler Lake.
Yes.
There were like 280 contestants in that thing.
Yeah.
And Wheeler's a fairly big lake, but I got to tell you, it fished awful small.
Yeah.
And, you know,
he knows that lake, too, though. He does know that lake.
Yeah, he knows it pretty well, and he knew what to do based on the weather conditions, time of the year, and what the fish were doing. And
so what would you have done at the age of 21, and you were a student at what was then Memphis State, blowing your saxophone, and you won $225,000 in a tournament?
I'd have quit everything I'd been. I would have, you know,
the saxophone
back
was
in
gone.
those days,
yeah.
I did have aspirations to fish professionally on the BASS tour. And, of course, you know, things didn't work out.
Instead, you went for a little company.
I didn't have $225,000.
No, but you went to a little company called FedEx and spent a good bit of your life there.
Yeah,
at FedEx.
34 years.
34 years, and so and I was at the Commercial Appeal 34 years. It's just the way it works out. But anyway, it's going to be a wonderful show today. Thanks to Ron, and of course, we're going to tell you now next week's show. It's a special one, buddy. We're going to pay tribute. I know he's not listening this morning because he's out in the woods on opening day.
I hope he's working.
Yeah, he's working today. Andy Tweed is retiring after 31 years as a wildlife officer at TWRA right here in Shelby County.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of give Andy a salute next week's show, and then he'll be off to Thanksgiving over there anyway in East Tennessee with his mom. But we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're setting up some good Christmas December shows coming your way with some guests and some giveaways. Guy Trebo and myself on Thursday went out to Radians, and we came out.
Loaded up.
We got 2 big boxes of Radians products.
Yep.
That Mary Padron came out there and delivered to us in my truck. and we're going to be giving away some of those during the December Outdoors with Larry Ray show.
Awesome.
And also LarryRay.com. So thank you, Mary. And, yes, I will have my heated DeWalt jacket on this morning when I head to the woods after the show and I spend time out there, a heated jacket. And she had sent me this jacket to try out, but for some reason the battery wasn't in it. And it just didn't work without that battery, but I can't wait to get it out. Folks, go to Radians.com, RADIANS.com. This is a huge company. God noticed himself how much is expanded in Memphis, out by the airport, in that area out there. And Mary Padron, and boy, I tell you what, TOWA, Ron, she went overboard for us.
The products that they have are so... They're really a needed product this time
Not
of the year.
Not just hearing protection, too. They got everything.
And for all your hunters,
yeah,
the glasses that they have.
Oh, yeah.
And the hearing protection.
That's it. Yeah.
All of that stuff, the reflective materials that they use in a lot of their clothing and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Very good stuff.
I think we need to include Radians when we start listing big companies that have meant something to Memphis.
Absolutely.
We put them right up there with it because they have stepped in here and made an impact on the community. They've got the Radians. What? It's out there for the shell. I mean, what are they? Isn't that the Radians? Part of the don't they sponsor?
I'm not sure.
I think they do. And Mary will correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure they do. That their names everywhere. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. But let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Let's talk a little quail. They got a big event coming up, the Mid-South Chapter Quail. They got it rained out before. It's coming up now. And we'll be right back and talk to Johnny McFarland on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday before Thanksgiving, which for all of us deer hunters in Tennessee know this is opening day of the deer season for us. And I can't wait to be out in the woods over in Hardeman County near Whiteville, and look forward to being on the McCrory Farm later today. And who knows what might happen. But this is a special show, really. I mean, it is BW. It's Bonus Wong, of course.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
You expect Ron here, but then we have an extra special guest in with us, the man that it's kept Outdoors with Larry Ray going on the website with LarryRay.com for all these many, many years. I've actually got a brother by another mother, too, in here this morning, and that is not only Mr. Wong over there, but the young whippersnapper himself, Guy Trebo.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Guy Trebo.
I am the youngster in the booth right now.
Yeah,
yes, you are.
There you are. And
That's scary.
Of course, Guy has more experience in the radio than I do. We'll talk about that as we go on with the show because he and I both have a love of golf. But we also have on the line right now a gentleman that has been part of Outdoors with Larry Ray for a long time. We've always supported whatever Johnny McFarland wants. We try to give it to him. And the man is on the line because the Mid-South Chapter of Quail Forever has an event that's been rescheduled. And so let's talk to Johnny McFarland. Good morning, Johnny.
Hey, Larry. It's great to be here today. Thank you so much.
Well, tell us about it.
Come on.
Tell us about it, Johnny.
Can I tell you a little bit of a story first?
Yes, you sure can, Johnny.
Well, on our back in 2003, I think was our second youth hunt.
Wow, 2003.
20-something years we've been doing this.
All right.
And we had a fellow named Nick that came on the show that year. He was there with his cousin.
Yeah.
I think it was his cousin Crystal.
Oh, okay.
And
that's the
cousin Crystal and Nick.
That's the Quans.
I won't go I'm not letting the name out yet.
Okay. I'm
Nick
sorry.
And Crystal.
Yeah.
Nick and Crystal hunted with my old dog, Beauregard.
Oh, Beauregard. Okay.
And they've killed a few quail, and now we're, 11, 12, 13, 14 years down the road?
Yes.
And Nick is now married to Alexis, and they're the proud parents of Emma and Nathan.
Yes.
Now, Emma already loves hunting with Dad and has hunted deer
Yes.
And I tell the little boys to be jealous because she's already got an 8-point on the wall.
And of course,
and then Nathan is competent with rifles, archery, and shotguns.
Yep.
And has a couple of deer at his great grandfather's farm near Rosemark.
Yes.
He's a straight A student at Bartlett, as an Apex student.
Yeah.
And still manages to find time to hunt squirrel, ducks, and dove when he's not fishing.
Yes.
And also, from what I understand from his dad, he knows how to clean all his own game.
And this, the correlation is here because one of their relatives is sitting in this room, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, we got some relatives sitting around that we know or maybe in the studio with you.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. And I've already given it away.
I think there's a Ron Wong in there.
There is.
That would be me.
Ron, their uncle.
Uncle Ron, yes. I mean,
or great uncle.
Well, he is a great person.
That's
He's just
right.
a great uncle too.
He was uncle. Yeah, he was uncle to Nick.
Yes.
And great uncle
to all
to
of them.
Emma
Yeah.
and Nathan.
To all of them. Well, so the roundabout.
And then, of course,
the roundabout story.
we know Peanut.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The roundabout story is that Johnny has made connections in these many years with a lot of people, including the Kwan family, which is a lot of Kwans.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not as many Kwans as there are us Wongs, but we know that. But,
I'm so excited we got our first legacy hunters
there you go.
on our youth hunt.
That is
So, and actually, Gene was the hunter instructor for
Gene Smith.
Peanut
Yes.
and Nathan.
Yes.
I'm sorry, and Peanut and Nick and Nathan.
Yes.
So
Right.
we're going to get a picture of Gene out there with 2 generations
Wow.
of hunters that he is, or 3 generations of hunters that he has taught.
And this is going to be, so now we're getting back to when the event itself is.
Yeah. Let's talk about when is the event.
Yeah.
We had a good date set, but we got rained out. So we've reset it to December 7.
All right. December
Now,
7th.
when I talked to Walker, we've pretty much got a full roster right now, but I've never seen one of these hunts where we didn't have a vacancy or 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So if somebody's got a kid, they want to see if they can sign up, the smartest thing they can do is call Walker and check and get on the, if there's a waiting list, get on the waiting list.
And we've got.
And Walker is on the flyer that I sent you earlier.
Yep.
Our guy's going to get up on the
website. Yes. And
Walker, you can reach Walker at 901-218-3542.
Yes.
And, of course, when we go on this hunt, Larry, we have one of the first things we do is Gene gives them a refresher safety course.
Gene Smith gives them a hunter education
All the
refresher.
young hunters must have 2 things. They must be pre-registered.
Yep.
And they must have their hunter safety certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No exceptions.
And where is this at?
This is going to be at Payne Quail Farm up in the Arlington area.
Yes. Yeah.
Old man Jerry Payne, had it for many, many years.
Yeah.
And now his grandson Justin is doing a great job. Great job. And Ron, I hope you get time to come up and take a few pictures.
Well, I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah, he's looking at his calendar.
And I'm actually putting this into my calendar right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what time does everything start?
Yeah. What time does it start now?
We're going to try and get things cranked up about registration 8:00.
All right, but you'll be out there till
some hunter safety instruction about 8:30 or 9.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put the kids on a couple of clay target machines.
Yeah.
To make sure everybody can handle a shotgun appropriately.
Right.
So I need to be there by about 9:30.
Yes. Yeah.
When you got to get there when the action starts, yes, sir, about 9:30.
And you feed these kids, and
we're going to feed them lunch. Well, I'm going to feed not the kids, their parents, the volunteers.
Yes.
Anybody, well, I shouldn't say anybody comes out, but all the people working.
Anybody wants to go out. And you've been doing this for a while, Johnny. I mean, this.
It's over 20 years.
Yeah, and it's so important. Ages here, Johnny. What are we talking about, ages wise?
They need to be 10 through 18.
Okay. Yeah.
And they got to have. Now, if we got somebody with a hunter safety certificate that's 9 years old, and can handle a shotgun, we're not going to throw them out.
No, as long as they have that hunter education certificate.
As long as they got that, and of course, if they're 15 and aren't sure which is the dangerous end on the shotgun, we might just shoot clay targets with them today.
So what's the deal for this? What is the club? What is this for, really?
Well, our whole goal is to get some new young people involved with dogs and birds.
Yes.
I mean, somebody that's been through this for, a couple of 100 years, like Larry and Ron, y'all have hunted with dogs before.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but so many of these kids have never seen bird dogs work.
And that's the thing. The dogs, they'll be out there actually participating and see the dogs work. The dogs are trained.
The dogs are everything.
Yeah, the dogs are everything, folks. That's the big kick I get out of just watching them. And you can go on YouTube and see videos, whatever. But being out there and experiencing this, and like he said, some of these kids have never maybe seen a dog work. And the main
or
thing,
their parents have never seen, or their parents have never seen a dog work.
Never seen a dog work. And did you see?
I know when we started this, Larry, the first couple of years we do it, a lot of the parents would come up and say, "Well, my grandfather had a couple of bird dogs."
Oh yeah. Well, there was a lot of birds back then, Johnny. So now you have to.
Oh, everybody had a bird dog in a pen by the barn.
They did, and if they didn't, they went with somebody that did. And this event,
they knew some.
Yeah, and the Mid-South chapter of Quail Forever is a local organization. Y'all meet on Thursday?
Monthly at the Bass Pro Shop store on Macon.
The existing store.
On the fourth Thursday.
Okay.
At 6:30 p.m.
And that's out there at the existing store, folks. Melissa's glad enough.
We're going to have a bird dog training session.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's in December. Also, I can't see the date right now. Do you have it with you, Larry?
No, that's okay. That's okay. We just want people to know.
Look on your website. You'll see it.
You'll have all of that posted, Johnny, on the website. And like I say, Ron's going to try to get out there, and I know Gene will be out there. And we just appreciate you, Johnny, for stopping. And
all these events we do,
we
want to get new members, but people are invited.
They are. Yeah. It's a people event, and that the Payne family has been. This is a wonderful facility, folks. I mean, it's not that far out.
If you want to go bird hunting this winter, call Justin Payne.
Yes, because and you could find out about it because his granddad started it out there and everything, but. Johnny, thank you, buddy. And again, that's go to LarryRay.com.
Larry, always fun to talk to you, and I always appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Have a great weekend. Talk to you, Johnny.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Johnny McFarland. And Johnny he's a battler, I tell you. He's got some health issues. He would love to have been in studio this morning. You just don't realize what this means to this man. Retired district attorney. He's worked in that, and a lawyer, but he's really got a passion for kids, and I know our man Gene Smith will be out there. He takes care of that. But again, go to LarryRay.com, and I'm sure that Mr. Trebo, that is Mr. Trebo was his dad.
You can call me Mr.
I can call you Mr. Mr. Tibbs. No, Mr. Trebo. I'm sorry, I got the T's wrong there. Not Mr. T. But just go to LarryRay.com. We'll have that. Johnny's got all the information about that, but. It's a great event. It kind of kicks off, and we're hoping for good weather on the 7th. And maybe Ron can get out there and shoot some pictures, and we'll post them all. So let's take our next break. And again, this is Outdoors with Larry Ray right here on AM 790, 92.9 HD in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. We'll be right back and heading to Reelfoot Lake, one of my favorite places. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
A good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And a good Saturday morning to all you folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM. And, of course, in News Talk 101.5 in Jackson. And, of course, every Saturday morning right here in Memphis from 9 to 10:30. On AM 790, 92.9 HD FM. And as I said earlier, we got a couple of guys in the studio. One is working on, I don't know what he's working on, but he's got a nice looking.
Probably working on LarryRay.com website.
Yeah, he probably does that. That's Mr. Guy Trebo. Good morning again, Guy.
Good morning.
And then, of course,
thanks for.
and of course,
I kind of forgot where I was.
I forgot where you were, but well, Ron does that a lot. Ron Wong is sitting in. And,
hey, good morning again, everybody. That's a beautiful Saturday morning.
Yes, it is. And all you Arkansas duck hunters, you're already out there, and all you Tennessee deer hunters, I'll be out there after a while. But we're going to one of my favorite places. You guys know that what Real Foot Lake means to me and Ron and so many of you out there. And one person has been up there a long time.
And, you know, I need to go and spend a day with that man.
You do.
And
a lot of people
shoot a bunch of pictures.
You do, yes.
Of pictures that a lot of people wouldn't know anything about.
Well, he's the only guy I know that still thinks that Tommy Lee Jones and Wessel Snipes are still up there in the Real Foot swamps. David Haggard's looking for him. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Great to be here. I wish I was in the woods chasing deer, but like you said, we get out either this afternoon, late, or definitely tomorrow.
You just got you a pretty nice one that you had posted on social media. Way to go, as you call them, a swamp deer.
I'm a serious bow hunter, and we've got the big WMA there at Real Foot and then the National Wildlife Refuge. It's open to archery, and I like to chase those big swamp bucks that live way back in the middle of nowhere. And
that's
getting harder to do as I get older, but so far I'm managing to go after them every fall.
Well, we know, David, the announcement has come out. It's kind of slipped out through the maybe not the grapevine, but the swamp line, out of Real Foot up there, that David is going to be retiring sometime in 2025. And I went back and looked, David, long way from growing up in East Tennessee, a long time at Real Foot, with your career there as a interpreter, a ranger, whatever you might want to call it, former Ranger of the Year. I was a ranger too, but I was a Lone Ranger. I was a member of his club, during my days. But decided next year will be your sometime in the early spring or whatever it might be. But Real Foot has been so special to you, David, and you've passed along so much knowledge, whether it's your Eagle tours, your swamp tours. So talk about the career and being at Real Foot.
It's looking back, I grew up in the mountains of East Tennessee, went to school at Tennessee Tech at Cookeville with a degree in wildlife management, and I always knew I wanted to work in the outdoors, and started working for parks in actually May of 1983.
Oh, really? Okay.
Forever ago, while I was in college, and then got hired full-time at Real Foot February of 87.
Wow.
And I made Real Foot home. Just fell in love with it, fell in love with the lake, the fishing, the hunting, the photography, the people, the resource, just, missed the mountains and, grew up in the mountains, loved the mountains, but definitely made West Tennessee and specifically the lake became home, and learned as much as I could about it to try to share with the people from all over the world that come there to visit it and experience that unique resource. Tried to pass along as much as I could to them over my career.
And you have shared your boat places in Real Foot, and it is an amazing place, folks, created by the earthquake, 1811, 1812, something along that line, when the Mississippi River flowed backwards. So much history up there. But, David, you shared your boat with people. You just mentioned them. What are some of the foreign countries? I'm sure you've been in boats with people from other countries, right? I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, literally people from all over the world. They've heard. I mean, people that are, it's one of those funny things. There's people in Memphis and Jackson and all across Tennessee that literally have never been there. Some of them say, "Well, I never even heard of it."
Yes.
But then you have people that are interested in history, especially geology, that from all over the world that have heard about the New Madrid quake and the New Madrid earthquakes, one of the largest series of earthquakes in the history of the U.S. and the world.
Uh-huh.
And then if you're into duck hunting, it's known everywhere for the waterfowl resource. Same with the fishing. So, the interest groups that it fits their interest, it draws people literally from all over the world. And then other people that aren't into that type of thing, they may or may not have even be familiar with it or have just heard the name mentioned somewhere along the way.
And then you throw in the Eagles.
You throw in the Eagles. The Eagles, when they started the Eagle Tours there in the 70s, early 70s, they started in 73. Of course, that was the Endangered Species Act. Eagles were one of the forefronts of that, and the Reelfoot was one of the few places in the Southeast to consistently see bald eagles.
Yeah.
And literally, made Reelfoot very, very well known because of the publicity of people coming to be able to see 20, 30, 100 eagles,
wow.
Sometimes on a 2-hour trip. Just an amazing place for so much as far as history.
And, you have a lot of people, David, that are photographers from all over just to come shoot the scenery, the birds, and everything else there at Reelfoot also, don't you?
Yeah, Reelfoot photography become my biggest hobby.
That's
and I always say I have way too many hobbies, way too many hobbies. But photography is one that it lets me share the beauty of our natural world, and I carry my camera wherever I go and try to take stuff. But really to promote Reelfoot and Tennessee State Parks, photography is just a way to share that with the world and promote what we have with the world.
And like I tell people, a picture paints 1,000 words.
Yep.
It does.
And that sunset at Reelfoot is one of the most photographed, I think, in the state of Tennessee.
It probably is. Yeah, there's just the sun setting over the lake with the cypress trees in the foreground.
Yeah,
just paints a vivid picture every afternoon.
And we can't get away without talking to David. We'll talk to him again next year, Lord willing, about his dogs, because David, they have been so much a part of your life. They've become part of your photography and the current dog. So how many dogs have you been through there in 40 years?
So she is what I have now. So I got my first golden retriever as a present my first year at Reelfoot, which would have been 87.
87.
And I'm now on my 6th golden.
Wow.
And she just turned 5 years old, and her name is Cody.
Cody.
And I always jokingly say Cody has a bigger following on social media than I do. People stalk Cody on Facebook to see what adventure she's getting to enjoy and share. But golden retriever just became my dog and my.
That's your partner. I mean, because when you need a good picture, who can turn down a nice looking dog?
That's right.
With Reelfoot in the background, and the Reelfoot is such a they wouldn't let me use the word unique when I worked at the paper. I don't know why, but Reelfoot is probably one of the most unique places, folks. And I'm sorry I have not. And this is going to make radio history right here. I've been in Memphis since 1967. I have not been to Graceland. Okay? Okay, but I've been to Reelfoot hundreds of times.
Yeah, right.
Okay? I'm sorry. And Guy Trebo.
Like I mentioned, it's where your interests draw you. And I've never been to Graceland either. I've drove by it, but I've never been.
Well, I dropped my mama off twice. I picked her up the second time, but
no. You can never go to Reelfoot Lake enough times in a lifetime. I will tell you. And talking about that, just recently, first of this month, I guess it was her second week.
Yeah.
The refuge is closed now on the Reelfoot Lake part of the lake too for fishermen. Is that correct?
Well, right. So the
duck hunters
to describe Reelfoot.
Yeah.
It's roughly a 30,000-acre natural area, land and water combined.
30,000.
Roughly half of it is National Wildlife Refuge.
Uh-huh.
Half of it is Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency Wildlife Management Area, open to the waterfowl hunting, the duck hunting, and then, of course, fishing. And then you have the state park, which actually is not that big in acreage.
No.
But it provides the access to a lot of those other areas.
Right.
Yeah.
So the refuge closes November 15th.
Okay.
And opens back up March 15th.
Okay.
So it actually closes to all entry except the paved roads to give primarily the waterfowl a safe resting spot during their winter migration. And a good winter means a bad winter.
That's right.
A good winter
Now,
for
does that
waterfowl means snow and ice and cold.
right?
You could literally have 500,000 ducks and geese in the northwest.
And a lot of eagles.
Does that mean that?
And over 200 eagles.
Yeah.
Does that mean the boat ramp at Kirby Pocket is closed?
No, because
No.
that actually opens right up into the wildlife management area. So the area directly out from Kirby is open to waterfowl hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get out about a mile, everything to the east would be refuge.
Yeah.
So there's signs down the refuge boundary where it's closed.
Let me ask you before we let you go.
Kirby's a big access for waterfowl hunting.
Let me ask you before we let you go, and we'll talk about, later, David, after the new year. But I remember, if I'm not mistaken, that your grandfather, if I still remember this right, worked for the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 30s.
He did, actually, yes. He
just
did.
remember that. And
I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah,
but that's where
what would your grandfather?
hold
on now? What would your grandfather think about you being all these many years at Real Foot?
Oh, he would be crying.
He would
no
be,
doubt.
wouldn't he?
He would be crying with tears of joy.
Yeah.
If he could, and he passed away when I was in college.
He did.
passed
I was
away
wondering, but that just came to me that you had mentioned that, because I've been to so many seminars with David. And he does great eagle seminars or whatever it might be. But I can relate to my grandfather. I know my dad and things like that, but it seemed like grandfathers are roots for what you become in life. Just
100%.
about. Yeah, and you've done that. David, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for taking time.
Okay.
to be
Thanks for
with
having
us.
me on the air.
And we'll try to get up there for one of them eagle tours. I got a heated jacket now. I'm ready. Okay, all right.
That's awesome.
All right, you tell Cody hello for us too. Okay.
I will.
All right, buddy. Thanks, David. All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to come right back, and I think that this next guest has got a little Dutchman to him. We'll find out. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And sometimes in between segments we get long-winded because we really enjoy talking to our guests. And I really hate sometimes maybe we ought to let that just roll on, Ron Wong, and just let the guests roll.
That would be like reality radio.
Yeah, it would be, because this next guest has been on Outdoors with Larry Ray before. And in fact, he won Angler of the Year in
2023.
And now he's won it again.
2024.
And he'll be on next year for 2025. We've already told him
And I'll
that.
probably see him in Fort Worth, Texas.
There you go.
Next year at the
Why don't you
Classic.
introduce this guy then?
Well, our next guest is a multiple winner of a lot of different kayak tournaments.
Yeah.
And he was a 2022 KBF national champion.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
2023 BASS national champion.
Yes.
And 2023 Bassmaster Kayak Series Angler of the Year. And now the 2024 Bassmaster Kayak Series Angler of the Year, Rus Synders.
Hey, Russ, good Saturday morning, buddy.
Good Saturday morning. Thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it.
How does that sound? I mean,
it's hard to believe that, a few years ago I've been, doing tournaments for a while, and mostly out of a bass boat when I was younger, and then took a break, and then this kayak thing took off, and it was probably 6-7 years ago when I started getting involved with that, and mostly just like a local club here near where I live in Nashville. And next thing you know, last few years now, I'm just traveling around the country and fishing all these tournaments, and I've had quite a bit of success, and it's kind of hard to believe.
Well, it's not hard to us to believe. Of course, now, when I get you on the show, I've got 2 anglers from the Delta, and I'm not talking about Mississippi. We're talking about California, because Ron Wong.
Stomping grounds,
That's Ron's stomping ground, Sacramento area, and things along that line. And you've taken your Dutch heritage and you've moved out of the big bass boat. You moved out of California like Ron did, said he didn't go to Nashville. You went to Nashville, and you think now what is accomplished in this career is pretty startling, and what you've done is consistency, I would think, Russ. Is that basic what's happened with you, because you've been able to really be consistent?
I've been working really hard at it, and I put a lot into just all the preparation that comes into the tournaments. Like I've been fishing my whole life, and I've been surrounded since getting into the kayak fishing. Met a lot of friends and stuff that I travel with through it, and a lot of them have had success as well. And we all just kind of help keep each other going and help motivate each other to do well. And it's been a really fun time these last few years.
Russ, the kayak fishing kayak series, whatever one there is out there, but that's really a big growing family, isn't it?
That's right.
It is. It really is. Everybody's pretty tight knit, and there's a few different. There's the Hobie tournament series,
right?
The KBF tournament series, kayak bass fishing, and then the Bassmaster kayak series. And KBF's probably been around the longest, and but this last year, Bassmaster has really grown. They've had an average of 200 participants per tournament. There's been 5 tournaments all across the country, and just really, really good numbers, and it's really competitive, and the level of competition each year is definitely increasing, and you see more and more bass boat guys getting into kayak fishing, a lot more new younger anglers. There's like kayak college series fishing as well. It's starting to take off, so it's just a really fast growing sport, and it's really something I'm grateful to be a part of.
Why don't you talk about, Ron, talk to him about the equipment. You've been in it now for 5 or 6 years. Talk to him about the equipment change. I'm really interested in the boat, the way the kayak has evolved into this machine.
Like Russ's kayak. He's using the Torpedo trolling motor. But talk a little bit about how you rig yours out, the kind of electronics that you use, and what are some of the things, the tricked out stuff that you use that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, well, this year I switched to Team Bonafide, and they've had a few new kayaks. It seems like the last few years they keep coming out with new kayaks. My main tournament kayak is the PWR.
Okay.
And that one came out last year, and it's specifically designed for, it stands for PWR, stands for power. So whether it's with motors and electronics, basically, it's makes it really easy and straightforward process. So you don't have to do a lot of modifications, whether you want to put a motor on the bow, or like I do, I put a motor on the stern. I use a Torpedo. It's 1103. You steer with your feet. It's like cable. There's cables that attach to it, and you with foot pegs. So you kind of use your feet to steer, and then there's a little throttle that's attached to the side, like pretty much right on the side of my hip, and you go forward and backwards with that throttle there, and it's really easy to position it in the kayak, and the motor kicks up so you can go up over laydowns or rocks or whatever.
Cool. Man.
Some really cut through grass on it. It's got like an innovative Sportsman rock guard on it that also has a little grass cutter, so you can really get into some thick cover, some thick stuff, and that's really a type of fishing I like doing. Is really shallow water power fishing. 5 feet or less. But a lot of the kayaks now, including mine, they like I have 2 10-inch crafts, a 10-inch Garmin and a 10-inch Humminbird.
Right.
And, I got line scope on the Garmin, and I use that as a good amount as well. Not as much as some of the other competitors. They really kind of specialize in that. Just like in the bass boat world, there's kind of the guys that specialize in the shallow water stuff, and then more of the live scope guys in the deep water. And that's something I'm still learning. I've cashed a few checks doing that, but most of the time I'm just shallow power fishing, flipping, throwing spinner baits, chatter baits, stuff like that. That's what I've grown up doing, whether it's on the California Delta or out in Clear Lake.
There we go. I knew that Delta would get back in there. Again, we're talking to Rus Synders. He is the first time in kayak series history an angler has repeated as Angler of the Year. And so we really wanted to talk to Rus about that. Ron's got another in-depth question that I'll try to listen to.
Well, You know, one of the advantages, in my opinion, that a kayak fisherman has over a bass boat fisherman
What's that?
is you can get to places a bass boat can't go, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Whether especially up a lot of creeks and rivers down in the southeast here, you know, there's a lot of backwaters, a lot of little oxbows and creeks, you know, spring-fed creeks and rivers that come in, and being able to get back in some of those areas where the bass boats can't is really something, you know, that pays off. You can get to a lot of unpressured fish, and it's great for just, you know, doing different river floats and stuff like that too. You know, we have the Susquehanna River up in Pennsylvania. Bassmasters had one of their tournaments there this year as well as last year. It's an area, you know, something you can put a jet boat in there, I guess. You know, some guys set a jet boat, but you can't put a traditional bass boat on that body of water. And it's all just river fishing and shoals and little rapids and amazing smallmouth fishing, some of the best in the country. So it's really cool that you can have tournaments out of. We do a lot of the traditional lake, you know, the big Lake Forks and Okeechobee and, you know, all over the Tennessee River. There's a lot of tournaments there, but there's also a few in some of these more kayak specialized type places like the Susquehanna.
You have to travel. You travel a lot, and we don't have a lot of time here, but I'm just amazed at your truck, okay? I'm a truck man. Mine will be 25 years old next year, and I love my truck. Now, your truck is, what year is your truck?
It's an 04. I'm the original owner. I bought it brand new back when I don't know, it was like 21 years old or so when I got it. And
how many miles?
535,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Replaced the engine once. I found like 300,000. You know, the engine went out, and I found one in the junkyard and put that one in, and it's got over 300,000 on that one now.
Well, I just wanted the people.
I'm doing some work on it, but it's really true.
I wanted the people to know how you travel. I mean, you're not jetting around.
So I ripped out the only seat I have is just basically the driver's seat where the passenger seat is. I took that out, and I have a refrigerator there, and I took the back seats out and basically built just like a big storage compartment back there that has two little cubbies, and
you sleep.
And I sleep padded on top, so I sleep on top of that just in the cab, and then in one of the storage things is for all my tackle, and then the other one has a couple big Dakota lithium, 100 amp hour Dakota lithium batteries with like a power inverter.
Here's what I'm doing, because I want you to send Ron how he could get a truck like yours, and he doesn't have to go home. You know, Ron could just travel around like that. Russ, thank you, buddy. Again, Rus Synders, repeat Angler of the Year, and
I'll see you at the Classic next year.
Ron.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good Saturday morning to all you folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM. Of course, in Jackson on News Talk 101.5, and right here in Memphis on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And we've got another special guest. Ron Wong had a chance to meet this next guest at the Brush Pile Academy, of which, Ron, you can go to LarryRay.com and see the photographs from the academy, right, Guy Trebo, right?
Yep, that's right, Larry.
Way to go, Guy. This will make sure the guy's still here, But
Guy does a great job there, getting all those photos up and everything.
He does, and so we got him in the studio. But Ron, how about introducing this next guest? I'm interested to talk to her.
Larry, thank you, and good morning again, everybody. And our next guest is from Louisville, Kentucky. She is quite a avid crappie fisherman and wanting to learn everything there is to know about crappie fishing.
That's a lot.
She also fishes out of a kayak, and she is the first female to ever attend the Brush Pile Fishing Academy, which was held this last fall in Green River Lake, Kentucky. Welcome, Madalyn Roberts. Good morning.
Good morning, Ron and Larry.
Thank you for being with us, and I'm really excited to know about the first female. This is quite an event. A lot of our folks, we've talked to the good folks at Brush Pile and know them and had them on the show. I don't think we've ever had an actual participant on the show who went to the academy, and particularly, I'm not just singling it out because you're the first female. You're going to be the first of many, I think, is what you hope on this. But tell us about your experience, and then Ron, you ask her some technical questions. I just want to find out, Madalyn, about your experience.
Oh, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Brush Pile Fishing Academy. Honestly, I didn't know what I was really getting myself into when I signed up, but I've just been, very intentional this year about getting on the water more and just putting in the time. And Brush Pile Fishing Academy was just the perfect experience for me to not only learn different methods of fishing, but also to network with like-minded people like myself. And it's really just been the best experience for me.
Now, you talk about learning and everything else, and as I got to know you a little bit, Madalyn, you were really out of your comfort zone to do this, weren't you?
Tell us.
100%. It was an intense experience just because there's so much knowledge that's being outpoured into the classroom, and then putting that knowledge into work, into action out on the water. And day after day, it was a lot. And I'm not a big people person. I generally fish by myself, so it was a totally different experience. But that's also what made it so awesome.
Well, walk us through the experience, because I'd really like to know. I've heard it from Wong so many times, but I'd like to hear it from someone that actually participated in it. Tell us what you did. What was part of and what was your favorite part? And just walk us through the experience.
Well, we would wake up every morning and sit in the classroom for a couple hours, listening to sessions from different instructors. Yeah. Everybody kind of has a different fishing technique that they use. They're on different lakes, so, different things work for different people. And even the instructors were learning from each other within the classroom setting. But just a lot of note-taking, really. I felt like I was back in college, in the classroom. But it was a fishing class, and that's exactly what it was every day. So much information. Honestly, I feel like you have to go back multiple times to get all the information, because even though you're listening and taking notes, there's just so much going on that in order to, make things stick, you just have to keep going back.
And you went into the water, too. Now, I mean,
you spent the afternoon on the water with each of those instructors. And talk a little bit.
Yeah,
who were those instructors?
Yeah. So the first day that I went, I was with Davy Jones, and he's the Green River Lake expert over there. And so that was and honestly, that was my first time fishing at Green River Lake.
I was going to ask you that,
I'd never been there before, so he was the perfect instructor to, introduce me to the water there. And we had a great time double minnow vertical jigging. And then the next day I was with Corey Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah, good friend of ours.
Yes.
Yep, at Dale Hollow there, and he also guides at Cumberland.
Right.
So we spent some time bobber fishing with him. Mm-hmm. And then the last day, it was since it was the last day, I think it was double sessions on the water mostly. So I had two instructors. The first was Kent Driscoll.
Okay.
Or the second was Kent Driscoll. The first was Steve Coleman. So,
okay, you got two Hall of Famers.
Two Hall of Famers.
And you're in a boat with two Hall of Famers. I mean, for a person that's not a people person, how intense was that?
I was just making the most of the experience. I knew that it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be around that many world famous fishermen, in a couple days setting. So I was really just trying to take it all in and listen to what they had to say. And everybody was very welcoming and knowledgeable, and wanted to make the most out of the attendees' experience. And you could tell the instructors were enjoying it just as much as the attendees. So it was just a great atmosphere to be in, and I felt very fortunate and honored to be the first female to break the water there.
Well, Green River Lake is noted for a lot of crappie. I mean, it's nothing to catch 50, 60, 80, 100 crappie a day
yeah.
on Green River Lake. However, the size this time of the year, or the fall time of the year, they tend to run small. However, at the academy there, in all 3 days, you ended up catching the largest crappie and won a prize. Congratulations.
Way to go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
That had to have been fun.
It was. The first day I did catch the big fish, and I think that kind of just showed the boys that I was here, and I was
showed the
serious about
boys.
it.
There you go. Showed the boys.
And, you know, Madalyn, because of what all you learned and also establishing all these relationships, you know, at the Brush Pile Fishing Academy, you know, everybody's like family. And you just recently took a trip to our famous Reelfoot Lake.
Oh, yes.
Here in West Tennessee with another classmate to fish with Steve Coleman and talk a little bit about what you learned there.
Yes.
Yeah, so in the classroom, Steve, we didn't get to do any on water experience with the telescopic rods, but in the classroom setting, he introduced us to those and showed us briefly how to use them, a little tutorial. But Jay Jackman and I went down to Reelfoot Lake actually this past weekend, and had a day guided trip with Steve Coleman, and we used the telescopic rod all day, and
the B&M Little Mighty and the B&M Ambush.
Well, I have to tell you that me and my wife got to experience that about a month ago with Steve. Taking turns sitting on the boat in the front with Steve Coleman is like going to school.
Yes.
And my eyes were going backwards and forwards to fish with Steve. It's quite an honor. And again, we're talking to Madalyn Roberts out of Louisville, Kentucky. And I hate to say it, the first female to attend the Brush Pile Academy, but many more. And you want to go back? Did you say that? Did I hear you say you would like to go back?
I'm signed up for 2 of the academies next year.
All right, there you go.
Great.
And so now tell our folks out there that's listening, how do they get in this, Ron? I mean, there's maybe some other people.
Well, they can go online to Brush Pile Fishing Academy.
Okay.
Online, and they have registration forms out there. There are going to be 4 academies next year.
4 academies
They're going to have, I think 2 of them are going to be at Green River, 1 in the spring, 1 in the fall. Then they're coming to Reelfoot Lake and Dale Hollow.
Okay. But they only take a small class.
10. Right? They only take 10 people per class.
Okay.
Each class.
So, folks, if you want it, you got to get it because one of them's already gone. I mean, Madalyn's already signed up.
And Madalyn, talk a little bit about not only do you get to learn from all of these professional crappie fishermen, but some of the things that you get when you come to the class, because, you know, they talk about the B&M 75 series and TCB combos and stuff like that. But you guys are all given all these items and the crappie magnet stuff, and so that not only do you get it, but you get to learn how to use it too, right?
Absolutely, and that was quite the pleasant surprise. You know, every morning we walked into the classroom and there was new gear sitting in our spot. So we got a couple fishing rods and reels, hats, tackle. You know, all the cool items from all the sponsors, very generously donated to all the attendees. So you know, if you had to estimate, it's probably $500 plus worth of fishing tackle that, you know, you would have had to buy leaving. And trust me, I did buy a lot more leaving, but it definitely dropped to the price tag on that.
Okay. But, well, I know that's a lot of fun, and we appreciate you being on with us with Outdoors with Larry Ray. And I know Ron will stay in touch, and Ron will be a part of that. And I've got a couple of Brush Pile shirts that Ron has brought me back that he's spilled something on and didn't need it anymore. So I've got them now. No, I don't. That's not right. I'll take that back. But anyway, Madalyn, thank you.
We look forward to following your journey.
Yeah.
And so we've got your phone number, as Larry always likes to say. And so we'll be in touch.
Yeah, when you get world famous, Madalyn, you'll remember you started right here. Okay.
I sure will, Larry.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great weekend. Okay.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
All right. Madalyn Roberts. We're going to take a break here in just a second. Close out this show today. Made a mistake one time and said closed out the show, and everybody thought we were quitting. Well, we're coming back because Guy Trebo's here just saving up to say things in this last segment because we got Hayden Marbut coming up out of Birmingham. He is the Toyota Series champion on Wheeler Lake, and not only did he win that baby, he earned a berth where, Ron?
He won
a berth to Red Crest.
Yes,
2025.
absolutely. The Red Crest in 2025. And it's going to be.
Where's it going to be?
On one of his lakes.
Oh, in Alabama then.
Gunnersville.
Gunnersville, okay. Well, anyway.
Out of Huntsville.
Yeah, we won't talk football with him. He's an Auburn student. We won't talk football.
He probably doesn't want to talk
Probably
about
doesn't want to talk about it. Neither do you. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Let me get out of here. I got a deer hunt today, buddy. I ain't got enough foolishness stuff here.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to be doing too much today because
you're gonna be
I
watching
have
football.
a wedding to go to this afternoon.
Oh.
Nick Vergas is getting married.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I was hoping to. I was hoping to get to Terry Tippett's funeral today. I don't know if any of y'all saw.
Oh, that's right.
Terry Tippett.
Terry Tippett,
who is the second winningest coach in Tennessee history here of Shelby County. 902 wins, passed away last Saturday. Prayers to all the Tippett family. I've known Terry a long time, but anyway, his funeral's today at 1 at First Evan Church, but I will be in the Deer Woods and. Anyway, that's where Terry would probably want me to be. But
we'll get to our last guest.
Let's get to him because Guy Trebo is weaving over here. Webmaster can't wait to get working on the webmaster, get working on the web for us, Guy. Thank you for being with us, Guy. Okay. This next guest, as we close out today's show, is a special guest, and we appreciate our good friend Charity hooking this young man up with us. Not bad for somebody 21. To already qualify for the Red Crest next year.
Still in college.
Still in college at Auburn University. I think he's a member of the Auburn
fishing team.
Team. I think he's the vice president. He should be the president by now, I think, if he's not. But we're happy to have on Outdoors with Larry Ray, Hayden Marbut, out of Birmingham. Good morning, Hayden.
Good morning. How's it going?
How's it going? Me. How's it going for somebody in college that just won $225,000?
It's not too bad. It's been going well.
That's my first question. When I was in college, when I won $25, I was happy. But you got some more numbers on there with it. But to do this, what's it been like? I mean, really. I mean, because that's a big win to do what you did. At the Toyota Series champion on Wheeler Lake and earn that berth in the Red Crest. Talk about what it's been like since then.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Just, I don't know. I've dreamed of doing this my whole life, and, to get that big of a win to help kickstart my career this early, and it has been a real blessing. I've had a super blessed season, and the last couple of weeks have been crazy since winning the event. Just, a lot of media and stuff like that. It's been wild.
Hayden, there were 280 contestants in this thing.
Yeah.
And, Wheeler Lake's a fairly big lake. And
I hope so.
And I'm pretty familiar with it. And I know that a bunch of folks fished the Decatur Flats, but you spent a lot of your time towards the dam area there. And a lot of others did also. But you found a place based on your past experience up near the Elk River there that you did real well. Talk a little bit to our listeners about how did you figure out this could be the potential place to win this tournament?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I was really concentrating on a lot of, obvious areas that fish could just pull up the feed really fast and, dip back off, get back closer to the main river and stuff like that. So it was all kind of current-oriented, anywhere current swung up against or a point or anything like that, any small current break or irregularity like that. And some of the best stuff I was fishing was down the lake, and it had a lot of pressure. So throughout the tournament, I kind of realized I needed to focus around the Elk River. That mid to lower end section of the lake had a little bit more stained water than down there at the very bottom. And those fish in that lake were a little bit easier for me to trick.
And you kick-started it with a pretty strong start. Talk about that. 21 pounds, 6 ounces, day one. That had to pump your adrenaline a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm pretty calm and collected most of the time, or at least I try to be. And that first morning started off just really well. I caught two pretty big smallmouth pretty early. One pushing around 5 pounds and one about 4.5.
Yeah.
And that just kind of kick-started the whole day's momentum. And next thing I knew, it was 11 o'clock, 11:15, 11:30, somewhere around that range, and I already had 21 pounds.
Whoa,
so it definitely felt nice, and I was excited just to go fishing the next day. I knew if I could, replicate around that 20-pound bag again the next 2 days, I'd definitely have a shot at winning. And I didn't expect for it to be as tough as it was that first day. I figured there'd be several 20-pound bags, but I guess I ended up being the only one.
That's right.
Well, and, you talk about several 20-pound bags, and, the second day, Keith Poche comes in with 27 pounds.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind after weighing?
I wasn't really rattled or anything like that. I was just kind of stayed calm, and I just try to control the controllables, do what I need to do to put myself in contention to win. So I just knew that, if I went out and did my job the next day, I'd have a shot at winning. I try not to think or worry about anyone else and just do what I need to do.
And that really comes, you're 21, buddy. You're in school, degree in marketing, working on that, and you're representing your school, but you're representing yourself in this. And a lot of folks don't realize this, and I'm really glad that you're in school, Hayden. The marketing part is so important today's young anglers, right, Ron Wong?
Absolutely.
You talked about that.
That's
that you have to deal with things.
50% of getting sponsors.
Yeah, and I don't know what you were trying to do goal-wise going in. You end up at 57-12 or something like that, and you win by 5 pounds, just about.
Yeah.
So you have to control your emotions. How do you do that? You've got to have some kind of way to back off. How do you handle that?
I don't know. I've fished a lot the last couple of years. The last 4 or 5 years, I've spent over 200 days on the water a year.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I don't really try to think about too much. Honestly, I just, like I said, I just go out there and try to do the best I can, and I don't necessarily really worry about anyone else. I just try to catch as much weight as possible every day, and just put myself in the best positions I can put myself in.
Well, you did really, really a great job there at the Toyota Series. Looking forward next year, Red Crest on Gunnersville in March. Your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I kicked off the Toyota Series season actually winning at Gunnersville in February.
That's right.
I've grown up here in Gunnersville, fishing a lot. So I'm excited for it. It'll be super cool just to, live out one of my dreams, fishing one of the biggest tournaments in the sport against guys I've grown up watching the last 10 or 12 years. So I'm just going to try to soak it all in, and try to make something pretty magical happen there. We'll see. It'll be an interesting time of year. It's actually the first week of April,
Yes, it is.
I feel a little bit.
That's right.
If it was a month earlier or a month later, that'd play better into my strengths. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm not. I hadn't even thought about it a whole lot. It's definitely going to be a lot.
It'll be there. Format. It'll be there.
Fish count format and one period with live scope and everything like that. But I'm just excited to experience it.
Well, we hope to talk to you down the road, Hayden. Again, congratulations. Ron will be at Red Crest, and
I will
look
forward to meeting you.
He's everywhere, and we've got your number, buddy. We'll keep up with you. But if I could use $20 or $25, I guess right now. You got any money to spare? Ship up here to the old folks' home here in Memphis. But then, just kidding again. Hey, thank you, man. We'll talk to you down the road again. Have a great weekend. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much for having me. Y'all have a good day.
All right, thank you. All right, Hayden Marbut. We got to get this fishing report in before we leave today, because people are hanging on. That's the only reason they're hanging around.
All right, first thing we're going to talk crappie fishing on the I-55 lakes is excellent right now.
Okay.
Fishing over deeper water, 5 to 7 feet deep.
All right.
Using a single crappie magnet rue, which is a new bait that's out by Leland Lures.
Yes.
And what makes it a little bit special is that you place your slab bite into the belly of the bait. It's really a cool bait.
All right.
But it's working very well right now, especially chartreuse and black. There's some stained water because of the rain that we've had.
Yep.
And also work with any wood that you can find, any kind of timber that you can find.
Okay.
Sardis Lake up above near the Hurricane Creek area, there in the Schooner River on Grenada, Bean Creek. Any kind of wood that you can find that's 5 feet or less, crop you're moving to it because that's where the bait are moving.
All right.
Vertical jigging. One of the good things that's working right now is just a 16th ounce jig head in red or pink with a 1.5 inch minnow.
Okay.
And that's all it takes. For those that want a spider rig, working very well. 5 to 8 feet deep, Caps and Coleman double minnow rig is working well. 5.5 to 0.7 feet miles per hour is working for your bass fishermen on the I-55 lakes. Fishing is really, really good right now. Early morning and late in the evenings, topwater baits on the secondary points are working well. When the fish go down a little bit, a spinnerbait, chartreuse and white spinnerbait. I like to use a half-ounce spinnerbait this time of the year that I can throw it out a good ways across any of the creek flats will work well, especially Clear Creek, Hurricane Creek, or Bean Creek, or any of those are working well. Also, the fish are hanging on the edge of the creek channels. A black and blue Denny Brower structure jig with a black and blue flake trailer on it will work real well, and you can catch a bunch of fish.
All right, now, Mr. Guy Trevo, you just watched him do that. Was he writing down anything? Was he reading anything right there? You're a witness.
No, he was not.
Where was that information coming from?
His brain.
His brain, that's right, yeah.
As feeble as it is in my old age.
And his heart. Now, so we have a witness now. Everybody says, oh, no, Ron's got all that written down. No, he doesn't. Shelby, we know that. Thank you, Ron Wong. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Thank you, Guy Trebo.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you, Shelby.
Good to see you, Guy.
Don't forget,
you too, Ron.
Next week, tribute to Andy Tweed. Don't tell him that. We'll be right back for that show. And as we always say, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, guys?
God bless the USA.